Just when I thought I've tasted all that the bread pudding world could offer, another one presents itself to me and surprises me with delight. Sorry for my language, but that's how obsessed I am with bread pudding. My newest obsession, Ali. It is a popular dessert made throughout the Middle East. It's nutty, it's rich, it's super comforting. And today I'm making it with some of my favorite flavor and texture combinations. First up, some phyllo dough. Now this is going to be the bread part of our bread pudding. I want to make this nice crispy and golden brown in the oven. So in order to do that, I've got to brush it with some melted butter. Just use a brush. I like to drippy all throughout and then brush it on. Now you could bake this in the oven several sheets at a time, just flat on different baking sheets, but I think it's best if you just crumple it up, just like this, into a loose mound, and then pop it onto the baking sheet. That way you can fit several at a time on one sheet. There are different variations here. You can use old croissants, palmiers, anything that's really buttery and flaky, or you could just do straight up plain white bread, whatever you have. This is gonna bake in the oven and get super crispy. There you have it. These look like crumpled tissues that you'd use after a horrible breakup. Now this goes into the oven at 350 for about 20 to 25 minutes until they're crispy and golden brown. Next, let's get creamy. Did I make you feel uncomfortable? Because I sure did make myself uncomfortable. Like any good bread pudding, the bread should have some rich, delicious liquid to soak up for that glow up. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna make a sweet, fragrant milk and cream mixture. It starts off in a small pot or saucepan with the heat off. I'm gonna start off with milk, some heavy cream to give it body. Sweeten it up with some sugar. If you're already using a sweet pastry, just hold back on the sugar a bit. And these gloriously fragrant ingredients, I've got ground cardamom and rose water. Usually in my bread pudding, my go-tos are cinnamon and vanilla, but in this case, they fit in beautifully. I love it. So just a little bit of cardamom here. Some of this beautiful rose water. If you've never used rose water before, don't be scared of it. It has a nice, beautiful floralness to it. It's usually made with roses like these. They're so beautiful. Smells amazing. This is still off the heat. Just go ahead and whisk it around to get the sugar dissolving. Fun fact about rose water. So early American baking used rose water as much as we use vanilla in the Americas today. It's wild. So this traveled from the Middle East to Europe and was brought over by the early colonists, and they used it in almost every sweet dish you can think of up until like the early 19th century. That just makes me appreciate worldly contributions that much more. I'm already loving the smells. Just don't go OD on the aromatics, because then it'll taste like you're eating potpourri straight out of the package. Save that for when you go do the poo-poops. Now you're gonna heat this up on medium-low heat. You just want it to come to a simmer so that sugar can fully dissolve. Look at these golden beauties. The phyllo is done. You can pick them up, they're nice and light. I'm gonna crumple them up, but not too much. Just enough that they still maintain some body, but they're just broken up into smaller pieces. Over here, I have some shredded coconut along with nuts. I love pistachios and almonds. You don't have to use these. Use whatever you like. Go nuts. Just gonna give these a rough chop. I really like nuts in this dish. It gives it that contrasty crunch against the rich custardy base. Really, really lovely. I also have some yummy golden raisins and dried figs here to add that extra depth of flavor and natural sweetness. Just go ahead and roughly chop the figs too. Now it's time to build this baby. I've got a baking dish here. I'm just going to butter up the sides and the bottom with this brush. This is going to be assembled in layers. First layer, the phyllo dough. Spread this out across the bottom. Beautiful. Now just repeat this process one more time. And finally pour on the milk and cream mixture. Ooh, these smells are hitting me in the best way possible. Now this goes into the oven at 400 degrees for about 10 to 15 minutes, and then just pop it in the broiler for like a few minutes until it gets nice and golden brown. And there you have it, Ali. Oh my goodness, look how beautiful this looks. I served it up while it's still warm, got a little bit of everything on the spoon. Let's give it a try. Ali, no, yum, Ali. Oh man, I love the flavor and texture combos here. It's so good. Definitely give this a try. Mix in your own nuts. Make your own yum, Ali.